Hi everybody and welcome to the debut episode of The World Around Us. This is a brand new podcast where we just sit down for a chit chat just about general life and what's been going on in today's news and just a general chat really. So make sure you grab a cup of tea, grab a snack and just enjoy the show. So I've got my cup of tea. The reason for doing this podcast is I find it quite relaxing just listening to someone's voice talking about the everyday news or just general topics. The main topic of today's show is just going to be a form of introduction. We're just going to be discussing a few little things, not necessarily anything dramatic or serious. There may be serious topics in other episodes, but this is just a kind of example as to what the future shows will be like. So in each show we'll maybe take a few hot topics, discuss those. We may talk about general issues or we may have guests on the show. Sometimes, especially in today's show, I will be talking about my own career, what's happening with that. Obviously, I released music about, I'd say, last time I released a song was about 8 months ago, maybe 9. My last song was released at the end of December. It was called Worst Year of My Life, I think, and it was basically just a summary of 2020 and how it was for everybody. And I know for not only me but for a lot of people it was quite a difficult year. Obviously with the lockdown there was a lot of different situations going on and it was just quite a tough year for a lot of people. People lost their jobs, people lost their lives, and it definitely affected a lot of people, and for that reason I felt like that was a good way to just bring the year to an end, release a song about the year and then push that behind us. I'd definitely say this year has been a lot better. It's been a lot more freeing. A lot of the time it's not been bad. We have had a lockdown towards the beginning of the year, but as the year's gone on it has become a bit more normal again, which has been nice actually. And so after I released that song, I took a quick break from music. I think I released an EP towards the end of last year, and then I released the song Worst Year of My Life, and then I just took a bit of a step back. For the first 3 months of the year, when there was a lockdown, I was like, right, let's just take a minute, because for the past 2 years previous I had been releasing music non-stop. But anyway, I just came to a point where I just wasn't happy with the music I'd released as of then, like so far, and for that reason I deleted all my music off of all streaming platforms, and it was kind of a way just to start again. I do love the music that I did back then, but I just felt like there was room for improvement, and I just wanted to be a bit more professional with what I was doing and the work I was releasing, and for that reason I just scrapped it all in order to start afresh. Let's just take a sip of tea. Definitely a new way to start fresh. And then probably towards, I was writing the entire time. This entire year I've been writing, and there's a lot of songs that I've got in my list of songs that I have I've got some songs that I've released previous that I still like, which I'd love to work on again. And then I've got some brand new songs which I've been working on for the past 8 months, since the beginning of this year. If not, there may be some from last year as well. But I've got an entire list of songs which I'm planning on releasing. It's been about 8 months since I've released music, which is quite a long time. So I am coming back. I have written, recorded, and I'm currently working on my first single, which is called Butterfly. I announced it's going to be released on October 1st, and I am very excited for this new chapter. terms of streaming platforms, I'm not sure what's going to be happening. I would love to release my music on iTunes and Spotify, but I can't be certain that that will be happening until probably end of September. It's something I've always wanted to do, but it involves making an investment. And with an investment, you've just got to be careful with what you're doing, because you don't want to. There's no point in really putting money into something that you're not really going to be getting money back. Not that music for me revolves around making money, but for the prices of just recording a song to then publishing it on streaming services, it can become quite pricey just for one song. And for that reason, I'm not too sure yet whether I will be releasing on just SoundCloud or Spotify and iTunes and all streaming platforms. But there will be a music video that'll be going in production very soon. I have done a few clips here and there, but with obviously me being an independent artist, it's me doing the editing, me doing the production, me doing everything. So, but yeah, production will probably be beginning in, I'd say September, but I'm not too sure. But the song will be coming on October 1st. And in terms of the music video, I don't feel like it'll be until like the very last minute that I actually know when everything will be released, whether it'll be on the same day, whether it won't. I am honestly not too sure, but I am coming back. The music I've worked on, I am very proud of, and I can't wait for it to be out in the world. Butterfly is my debut single, obviously with my previous work being scrapped and gone. It's not available to listen to anywhere. I still have it saved to my phone, obviously, however, it's not available for streaming. But yeah, the music is coming. In terms of it being an EP or an album or anything like that, I think I'm just gonna see how it goes in terms of releasing music and whether it goes well or not, because it could go well or it could go bad. Like, I don't know. But I do have more than enough songs to make an EP or an album. I think the list I've got, disregarding a couple more songs that I probably have in the further back, I have a list on my phone of about 25 songs, which is more than enough for an album. But then I also do have other songs which I could work on as well, but I've got a definite list of 25 songs, and each one I would like to do something with. The reason I'm releasing Butterfly first is probably because for me it's just a summary of how my life has been this year for the past 3 years. It's how I've felt, it's everything I wanted to say, everything I felt, and for that reason I wanted to release that as the first song. It's kind of an introduction as to where I'm at, everything that's happened to me for the past 8 months that I've not been releasing music, and where I am now. It's definitely self-reflective. It's definitely, I'd say, storytelling, but at the same time it's not much of a story, it's more of just my story. And it's definitely a reflection on the past 3 years of my life, on things. Well, the song's obviously about a relationship. Before I took my break, I did start uploading on YouTube, which I'll get into later on in the show. But obviously that's not happening as of now. But started uploading on YouTube, and around that time I went through a bit of a breakup after being in a relationship for over 2 years, nearly 3 years. And I am back with the person now. But it was definitely a difficult time, and it probably still is, but yeah, it's just a reflection on the breakup and prior to that and further on. It's about toxic relationships, it's about being treated wrong and badly, and yeah, it's just the typical bad relationship, really. That's what the song focuses on, and I'm very excited for everyone to hear it. But yeah, in terms of YouTube videos, I started uploading around March, and it's been about 4 months since I uploaded my last video. Since then, I did delete temporarily all the videos, but then I added 3 videos back, 2 of them being the Taylor Swift reaction and 1 being the Lana Del Rey reaction. The reason I deleted them was just because, in order of a fresh start once again, but in terms of the reaction videos themselves, I didn't really have a motivation in doing them. Hold on. It just felt a bit forced in that they were fun doing at the time, but as it went on, it just wasn't something I was enjoying. In terms of the reactions themselves, that was fine, but with them obviously being long reaction videos, it took a lot of work and a lot of editing, and a lot of the time I'd do all that, and then I'd come to the end of the video to publishing it, and it'd take hours to publish, and a lot of the time I would get copyright claimed, so they'd get blocked off of YouTube. So I'd do all that editing and for nothing. And it did just become a bit of a chore rather than a hobby, which is not good. And for that reason, I just stopped. In terms of YouTube going forward, I'm not sure what I necessarily will be doing in terms of YouTube. Obviously, there'll be the music videos, the lyric videos, the music aspect of it. But in terms of vlogging, I would really love to go into more of a vlogging kind of channel, but I'm not sure if that's what people would want to see. But as the months go on, we'll just see what happens. But yeah, I'm starting. So we've got the music, we've got this new podcast. In terms of future plans, I am solely at the minute we're focusing on the music aspect of things, but I would like to also do vlogging as well. But yeah, this show I'll also be talking about the, hot topics of recent events, what's been going on in day-to-day news and everything. And so yeah, we're just going to have a few different conversations. So it was recently in the news that Katie Price had been attacked in her home by a 32-year-old man who was arrested on suspicion of assault, theft, and controlling behaviour. He has recently been released on bail, and she has reportedly said that she cannot face the court hearing after she was allegedly assaulted in her home, because she has claimed that she is not mentally strong enough. There are suspicions on who it is. A lot of people do think it's her boyfriend. I think his name's Chris. Yeah, but there's a lot of allegations saying that it's her boyfriend who assaulted her. There's some released pictures of her face. No, her boyfriend's called Carl Woods. Sorry about that, but yeah. But there is a lot of assumption that it is him. No one knows for definite. There's been photos released of her face where it's bruised on her, her cheek, just below her eye. And she was hospitalised. It happened, from what I hear, it was 1:30 in the morning, and she ran away, and it was in her home, which is why it would make sense for it to be him. In my opinion, without making assumptions, obviously, because that isn't right to make assumptions about such a serious matter, it does make sense that it would be him. I mean, they seem all happy and loving on camera, but no one knows what goes on behind the scenes. And it does make sense that it would be him out of anybody. But I'll just send Katie her best. I hope she's well, and hopefully the person who attacked her gets the punishment that they deserve. And yeah, Sheryl will be headlining Mighty Hoopla next week. She released a video today on her Instagram of her rehearsal video. I am very excited. I'm not going to be seeing the Mighty Hoopla performance, but I am going to watch her live at Birmingham for Birmingham Pride. And I am very excited, but yeah, it's got her fans going wild on social media. Everyone's very excited for her comeback. It's kind of the first time in quite a while that we've seen any performance or music-related anything, so it's nice to see that back again. And in terms of Little Mix and Jessi Nelson, it was recently Little Mix's 10-year anniversary. They've announced the Greatest Hits album, which will be released with 5 new songs. I am very excited for that. And Jessi Nelson, on the other hand, is releasing her debut single, Boys, which is allegedly featuring Nicki Minaj. There's not been any announcement or... There's not been any... It's not been confirmed yet that Nicki is on the song, but the song is definitely called Boys. It was rumoured for a few weeks before, but then she announced... Well, she didn't announce, but she released a photo on Instagram with the caption in the photo, Boys. And which was kind of a confirmation as well, as the same time as it not being too much of confirming anything. But if they got the song title right, it is highly likely that Nicki is also on the track, which I think is amazing, especially for a first solo record. I think a lot of fans are quite irritated by Jessi at the minute, with obviously her leaving for mental health reasons, to then come back a few months later with a solo project. It is quite conflicting on what was said, and it's kind of confusing. But she did say that it was because of the pressures of being in a girl band. And I'm excited for a solo project. I'm not one that really focuses on issues or like reasons as to why fans hate a certain singer. I mean, there was a lot of blackfishing claims. There was a lot of issues regarding her leaving Little Mix and her relationship with them after leaving. She did an interview recently, and she did confirm that she hasn't really spoke to them as of recent, but she speaks to them every now and then. The blackfishing claims, she allegedly has no idea about. She claimed that she had not known that people felt that way, even though she had blocked people a few weeks or months prior due to them saying things to her. And I think a lot of fans, especially mixers, found it quite ignorant. Coming from someone who is a white person, obviously I've never had any issues with racism, but my opinion on the situation with Jessi, I do think a lot of her photos, she does look darker than Leanne, for example, which I know a lot of people on Twitter was comparing her to, saying, you know, this and that, you know, she's darker than someone who is actually of black heritage and someone who is mixed race. Is she? I don't want to obviously come across offensive, but I'm not sure whether she is either mixed race or a black woman. But they was comparing her to someone who is of black heritage, and for that reason it did cause offence, because she was in a lot of photos coming across darker than someone who is black, which is obviously an issue. And I do think that in a lot of her photos, her fake tan is quite excessive, and that's coming from someone who's never had to deal with racism. I've never had to worry about being attacked or anything like that before my race. So it's never been an issue for me. But to see a white person almost, I don't know, it just seems a bit excessive tanning, and it's gone a bit too far, where to the point where she is looking darker or the same skin tone as someone of colour. And I see why people would take offence to it. But not disregarding, because obviously we can't disregard it because it is a serious issue. But other than the issues that have been faced, I am still looking forward to hearing her music and seeing what she's bringing to the table. It was leaked online a few weeks ago, a video of the dance routine, and I think Nicki's verse was in it, and it does, I couldn't really make out what it sounded like, but it did seem very exciting. And we'll just have to see what is to come within the next few weeks. But yeah, that's everything for the Hot Topics section of today's show. But yeah, that's all for this show. I hope you enjoyed the debut episode of The World Around Us. In each show we'll be having a conversation about myself, what's been going on recently, maybe to dive into some hot topics and just answer a few fun questions from the next episode. We'll be seeing what happens from the debut, and we'll be happy to see you next week for next week's Friday episodes. Episodes will be released every single Friday for Series 1. Series 1 will be going on for 8 episodes. There will be 8 episodes of this first series, and then it will be confirmed towards the end of the year whether there'll be a Series 2. But thank you for watching this show, the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the first show. If you've got any topics you'd like us to discuss in next week's episode, comment down below and we will make sure to respond to the comments. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week.